Yo, what is up, guys? What is poppin'? It's finally time for ITL Season 6 Finals. Mm, We are playing versus my boy, my good friend Gypsy King, aka Dylan, aka coach of the Sydney Sharpedoes, and yeah, this is going to be a good one. We actually just played like an hour ago. We hopped in a call after the match to talk about it. Definitely a very fun match and like great preps from either side, in my opinion. Um, Hovering over my team here real quick, I brought Specs Rotom Heat with enough speed for a modest Nidoqueen. I didn't think he would ever bring Timid. It was more likely that it was a bulky Scarf, which is like the set that I really expect because it guarantees him to get rocks up, which is huge with my squad. Or it would be like a Spadef variant to always check a Scarf Rotom, Life of Rotom, whatever I want to bring. But Specs Rotom actually guaranteed 2 KOs Nidoqueen after rocks if it's specially defensive, and even then has a shot to like 2 KO without rocks if it's because I'm modest obviously and like Specs with overheat. Um, Tornado Seer is an assault vest variant. Basically, my Greninja check, it checks or like well, it switches into a nasty plot Mismagius potentially with like that could wreak havoc on my team with like Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam as the coverage. Very like solid in this matchup, but a mon that I really contemplated not bringing because like Venusaur would have make a lot of sense. I don't bring my Fini Aloe Venusaur core. I wrote the dig of this core to the finals, and I figured I have to mix it up because my man Gypsy knows that I'm in love with Venu, that I'm gonna bring Venu, and then like he will prep for it to like capitalize on this thing. So I figured I don't bring it. Mamoswine, Never Melt, Ice, Adamant, Stealth Rock, Triple Step. Enough defense investment to live in Aqua Tail from Arrow, from Adamant Arrow from 4. Enough speed for Max with Celesteela. Doesn't really matter too much. Most of the stuff is in both. Metagross is a sub-toxic variant with Thunder Punch and Meteor Mash. A really wild spread that can prevent like subs getting broken from weaker attacks like any non-super effective move Celesteela goes for, any non-super effective move Mew goes for. Like depending on the max set, if like Poison Jab Pursuit and like Toxic and Rest or something to like always check Hydra better or like check Offensive Tornadoes T. Then I can set up subs on it, but obviously the set is like not gonna come. But like there's an option, obviously always gotta count for everything. Hydreigon here is like a mono Dark Pulse set with the Darkinium Z, Taunt, Roost, and Thunder Wave. I wasn't sure what I was gonna bring as the last, but I figured Thunder Wave was gonna be good to catch a potential aggressive switch into Arrow or into Gren, which both I thought would come. I wasn't 100% certain that the Gren was coming, but I figured having the like yellow magic in the back for an aggressive switch into Arrow was gonna be nice because I know Gypsy is gonna bring in a very bulky Arrow that like can't shoot a modest Drake or something from a Scarf Hydra and like go from there. So I figured Thunder Wave was a nice tech to potentially catch him off guard. Frostless here is a Sash variant with Will-O-Wisp, Icy Wind, Spikes, and Taunt. A pretty simple set in my opinion. It's like the goal of this squad is best to prevent rocks from going up. If he gets rocks up, it's gonna be huge for him. As you see, my team is super weak to it. I don't bring a default, don't bring a remover. But if he plays like kinda mindlessly and switches into Specs Rotom, makes an aggressive double into Mamoswine, is not a Scarf variant. I have two Taunters. I can like prevent rocks if I play correctly. So looking at my opponent's team, what Gypsy brought, brings a Celesteela. It could be autotomized, but I figured it was more likely to be a defensive set as it gives him a very nice backup check to Mamoswine, like max defense Celesteela, like just choose hits from Mamo. I have to flinch it down. It can't get off Leech Seeds versus everything on my team. I figured it was bringing like Heavy Slam, Air Slash, Leech Seed Protect to like not be like fodder for Venusaur coming in and get leeches off by itself. So yeah, I figured it was more likely to be a defensive variant. Gren, I figured was offensive Spikes. I don't think it was Taunt because he kinda needs coverage, but it very well could be like a lead variant with Taunt, Spikes, and like maybe Toxic even to get like chip off residual on the Tornadoes if I bring an AV variant. Mug, I was very certain it was gonna come because it's a very, very solid check to my Venusaur, to my Hydreigon, to my Tornadus T, even to Rotom. I figured it was gonna be like a rest variant. I wasn't sure what kind of set, maybe Curse, maybe Rest Talk. The set that Gypsy brought is actually something I completely blanked on, but it's not an AV set, obviously it's not like the Gluttony set, but a very cool set that he brought there. Mew was probably gonna be defensive again. It could have been like some Carmine shenanigans, some um, Carmine Baton Pass into like maybe even an Autotomized Celesteela, which could have been very scary. But with two Taunters, obviously, a Trick User, Metagross in back, like I figured that was like highly unlikely to sweep me. The Nidoqueen, as I said, probably bulky Scarf, or like just Spadef and like bulky Arrow. So looking at the matchup, if I get up Rocks and Spikes and prevent Rocks going up from on my side, I'm in a very good spot. Once I get rid of the Gran, Rotom almost always gets a kill with Overheat, or just like send to Mew because he's never gonna bring especially defensive. So like even like depending on his investment after a Spike and Rocks, I can actually Oko everything on his team, which is pretty huge. Even Mega Arrow, if it's an offensive variant, takes 70, not 70, but over 50 from Overheat. So Rotom definitely a nice win con. Also, like Metagross can potentially win if I get rid of the Nidoqueen early, if he doesn't have the what's called Flamethrower on the Steela. If he doesn't take Crunch or EQ, which is unlikely, I would say, but definitely a possibility. Could bring like just Edge and Aerial Ace or Edge and Aqua Tail, for example. But it's definitely a mon that can win, and I have to like play it safely. I can't bring it in on too much because I need to get up a safe sub, so Mew can't Will-O-Wisp me and I can Toxic it, and so on. Hydra also looks decent once I get rid of Muk and Greninja, but it's really tough for Hydra to win. It's not like the biggest win condition, but definitely more like could put in work. So I decided to lead off with my Mammo, predicting him to potentially try to get up his rocks early with Nidoqueen, to potentially lead off with Aerodactyl if it's a taunt variant to prevent spikes from my Frostless. It matches up well versus a Muk lead. Yes, I have to switch out with Mew and potentially Gran, but I figured like having Mammo in to guarantee prevent rocks turn 1 is huge. So I go Muk as he leads off with Greninja. So I'm playing from the back, from behind turn 1. I have to switch out into my Taunt to scout for a set. I was like close to clicking EQ, but I figured the scout was the safest play. Even though like he has to respect the Scarf and the Sash, but on the other hand, Scarf Superpower, Scarf Earthquake don't knock out the Greninja from full, so and even he could be like Sash himself, so no point in staying in. I go into my Tornadus T here, as he goes for the Scarf. This time I'm gonna U-turn, bringing him to either switch out or like not going for Scarf again, which gives me a switch into some safer stuff. But I actually outspeed, and this is huge. This Gran reveals to be a very bulky Gran. It has to be at least 100 defense and 252 HP to shoot a hit as well as he did. And this is annoying because this basically allows him to get up as many hazards as he wants. I got to my Hydreigon here as he gets up Spike. Shows the leftover, so it's definitely a bulky Gran, a very smart side on his part. Like I was like blown back already. Turn 2, he had me bamboozled, but like it's the king, you know. It's like he's the goat, so we gotta account for those kind of sets. I go to my Hydreigon, go for the Thunder Wave here, because if he stays in to get up another Spike, I can maybe prevent him from getting up all 3 layers with Paraflinches. And if he makes the aggressive switch into Arrow, Celesteela, or like even Mew, even though Mew would be annoying, I get a T-Wave off, and if he stays in, like that would be nice because Gran kinda is a threat with my team. But like Gypsy makes the safest play, goes into Muk. I kinda want to go back into Mammo, but I felt like it was too risky of a play. So Muk gets paralyzed, which is fine. I go for a Dark Pulse here just to scout what kind of set he is, if he's AV or not, as he goes back into Gran. So we're back like where we were two turns ago. I will go for another Thunder Wave here, I think. Fairly sure. I think Gypsy was scouting for the Z Earth Power here, which makes a lot of sense. Like second of Gran wasn't the worst play he could have done because he already got a Spike up, and like depending on how he plays, it's not super likely he gets up a second layer, but he probably will be able to get up a second layer. So Dark Pulse does a solid chunk, but not too much. So I'm like kind of in the backseat here right now because he can get up a layer here if he wants. If he wants to. I go for another Thunder Wave to at least cripple this thing as he goes back into Mug. Fine with me. I will go hard into my Mammoth one here because if he goes for knock, he does like 50, which isn't the end of the world because I don't really need too much HP on my Mug, on my Mammoth one, and like if he like tries to curse up, I still okay with the Earthquake because if he curses up, he's more than likely a Spit Death variant that can't really shoot Life Orb or Adamant or any sort of EQs Memo wants to go for. So he gets fully parried, which is unfortunate. I'm not sure if he went for an attack there or like he probably went for an attack there and just didn't know what kind of attack. At the moment, I figured he was probably going for a knockoff. Thankfully, this doesn't come into play at all or too much, as I go for my rocks here. I figured I could have gone for the Earthquake, but Celesteela was like a nice safe switch in for everything, so I figured rocks were a much safer bet because they pressure arrow, they pressure him switching around, like they put slowly but surely Mons in range. Had I gone for the EQ, it would have been nice. But now we're in a turn that I like. This is, in my opinion, the biggest turn of the game from my perspective. Here, like Greninja is inverse Mammoth one. I already showed my Taunt to be the initial switch in. I was like hovering over the EQ button for 99% of the turn before I clicked Tornadoes here. I figured his double into Nidoqueen is so likely, like it was the play that I would have made 99% of the time if I were him, to get his rocks up guaranteed. And if I EQ here, I can prevent this, and I'm looking to be in a very good spot because I'm basically guaranteed to get off a Spike versus the Mug, at least one. I get off a Spike versus the Mew, I get off a Spike versus the Steeler, I get off a Spike versus the Nidoqueen, and this could have been huge. If I prevent rocks here, Rotom looks scary, Hydreigon and Taunt are like a little bit more free to switch around. Mammo can come in, Frostus can come in easier. Like it would have been like a huge play on my part if I go for the EQ. Sadly, I don't do this, and he switches out into the Queen, and I'm like, this turn I know like there's a good chance I'm gonna lose the game. Obviously it's still 6-6, but this turn is like so bad for me. It's like this was the worst turn for me in the entire game, and like it's really bad. I go into my Mammoth Swine here, predicting him to go for rocks and like pressure him to go out there, but he gets his rocks up and like look at my team, look at what rocks like. The game plan was to prevent rocks at all costs, and now like it's looking bleak. Greninja comes in as I pull another double. He reveals to be the Scarf, like either a max speed Timid set or like this for both not max speed Timid, but heavily invested in speed. So no, if he was Scarf, but I figured he was Scarf all the time. But like it's still waiting to be confirmed. But in case he predicts me to be like Adamant max speed, now he knows that now he could know that I know that he's Scarf, so this like could come into play, but I don't think it will. I go to my Gogo Yubari here as he brings in Gren. I will get up a Spike to pressure him as he knocks me out with the Dark Pulse. Spike was my play there 100% of the time because like taunting doesn't accomplish much if he like just knocks him off with Dark Pulse. A Spike is like comes in super handy to guarantee the knockout on the Nidoqueen with the overheat from Rotom. Here goes my Rotom, kind of bluffing the Scarf, which is a play that I have to make because I'm playing from behind, like so far from behind, it's not even funny. I will go for the overheat to bring him to go into Queen, but he actually goes into Mug. Mug takes the hazard damage, then like takes roughly 57 from the overheat. The next overheat is a guarantee to KO, or reveals to be Black Slashing, max HP, max special defense with a careful nature probably, or like sassy, I don't know. But then the play that I have to make here is basically knocking him out, but this allows him basically to get a free setup with Mew, with Mega Arrow, with Celesteela, if one of those is a setup mount. It gets like another layer of spikes if Greninja comes in. Gives him like a free attack with Nidoqueen, even though this is unlikely to come in because like I have the Taunt still left that he can't knock out really. So going from that, knowing that he like can just sack the Mug, but he also like is inclined to potentially just can potentially just preserve it as a sec later and go into Mew. I go into my Hydra here because it's like choose potential knockoff and shit like that if you want to go for this as a last ditch effort to try to catch something on the switch in, which is a fine play for me, but he reveals to be rest, so this kind of stings because like Muk is the mon that stops my dragon the most. I have to go for Taunting because I figured he is a Sleep Talk set, and I get that correct. On this next turn I switch out into my Tornadus, predicting him to not want to stay in because this gives Mamoswine a free switch in, which I don't think he should ever do because with Rocks up and a Spike, Mamoswine can definitely put in quite some work here. So I figured Tornadus covers all the mons that he could switch out into that cover my Mamoswine, which are namely Mew and Celesteela. I can just Heat Wave or like Hurricane or U-turn out on them. So basically a play that covers all options. It also covers the Greninja coming back in because Hurricane has a very solid chance to, or a guaranteed chance to kill after Rocks and the Spike here. So I pull trigger into Tornadus as he stays in to stay asleep. I don't really know if I agree with this play. Yes, he didn't have much to lose here because he still has all his defensive backbones at full health basically. I'm yet to get damage off on any mon that's not Greninja and I think Nidoqueen. But in my opinion, like his play, or the best play he could have done was going into Mew or Steela on potential like Mamoswine switch in. But now he actually gets to wake up as I go back into my Tornadus to like into my Hydra to taunt him again in case he's a curse variant, but he actually reveals Power Punch and I'm like, whoops, that's kinda bad. Now I basically have to sack him on and I go to my Rotom Heat knowing that I can take another Power Punch. He has no reason to go for knockoff in front of the potential Z Hydra. If he goes for Poison Jab, I can like just sack the Rotom and go from there with my Mammal. The reason why I sack Rotom over anything else was I figured that Rotom is probably not gonna outspeed a Scarf Nidoqueen. It's not gonna outspeed Gran or Arrow. It's not gonna outspeed Mew because he has to run speed on his Mew to not get too killed by Life Orb, Mamoswine. And like it doesn't do much anymore in this game, sadly, because Rocks are up. It just makes it a lot tougher for me to go from there. So here I go for the trick. In case he stays in, I lock him into a move that maybe gives my Metagross a free switcher. And if he switches out, I cripple anything that wants to come in. If he goes Hard Arrow, like he's a god, but he can't really make that play. Would be way too aggressive. So I trick the Nidoqueen, get its Scarf, which I expected, and just go for the Volt switcher because if he switches out, thinking that I basically have to overheat here, I like get initiative and keep a sack, which like is yes an over prediction on my part, but a play that I like kind of have to make because I'm so far playing from so far behind. So yeah, had he switched out there, like Volt would have been a golf play, but it doesn't work out. Shows the Focus Blast and misses. I'm like just telling him here, yes I could go Taunt, but like, I just say and go for it again. We don't want Hex to decide this game, even though another sack would have been nice, but you know, like I let him kill me. It's like the safest thing to do. And now Mamoswine comes in. I don't really know why I went Mamoswine. So like when I built for Jitsi, I had two sets. One was a Mamoswine that outspeeds Nidoqueen all the time, and one was this lower set. And it's like kind of blanked on having this low set. Like a mistake that I can't allow to happen in finals, but that I actually make. So I go for the Ice Pressure, he outspeeds and goes for the Focus Blast. He misses, but thankfully I missed too, so it's not too bad for him, but still a big dodge on my part. Here I have to go into my Tornadus to shoot a hit. Really dumb on my part, but thankfully it's like I got away with it. I go for the Icy Wind here, covering him staying in and going into Arrow. My Mamoswine is still at range where it can live a Power Punch from the Muk set Gypsy brings after the hazard, so if he goes Mucky on any attack, I U-turn out and go into Mamo to claim a kill basically, or to claim like a big hit going out. But I just stay in Icy Wind, he goes for another Focus Blast, hit those two at least, and I kill him with the Hurricane. So I got a kill, but things are looking bleak. But I figure like I can still win with my Metagross here, depending on all the sets. Like if he like really is like Poison Jab, Power Punch, Muk, I beat this one with one. Like Greninja can break a substitute that can OHKO with Thunder Punch from the range it's at. If this is not Flamethrower Stealer, I can win. If this is a Mew that doesn't run Taunt, I can Toxic it and stall it out. And if it's a slow variant, my Hydreigon beats it 1 vs 1. So I'm still in a spot where I can win. So I have to stay in here, hope that he either has like only Edge as a move to hit me, as well as Pursuit, which he could go for, which I live actually from the range I'm at. Unless he's like, well, I think I live it 100% of the time. So I go for the Icy Wind, but he needs to have Crunch, which is actually really bad for me because now my Metagross here has to come in, obviously, because the rest of my mons probably just dies to a Stone Edge. Yeah, they do. And Mamoswine is not guaranteed to knock out the Aerodactyl. So I have to play off a Choke here. I have to go for a Substitute and go from there. And like if I get a sub up on the switch into like Steela potentially or Mew that can deal potentially with a Rock Polish, Metagross that is actually a big threat versus him, I have a chance to win, but I go for the sub and he reveals a Taunt. Smart play on his part, really smart play. That's why they call him the king. Now I have to go for the Meteor Mash as he crunches me. Does 49, revealing to be a very like bulky arrow with not a lot of investment. He told me afterwards he was adamant but didn't have a lot of investment, so he got like a solid mineral there. Now Grand comes in. I have to go into my Hydra here, preserve my Metagross. I know I can take two Dark Pulse or Scald. At 31 now, I can't boost up unless I go for the Z Taunt, which actually could have been a nice play. But I figured just knocking out this Greninja kinda like paves the way for potential Metagross to win. If I go for the Z Taunt and then roost up on the next turn, he can basically just Spike Stack me and like knock on my Mamoswine on switch, and so it's not a play that I'm like willing to make because I still need all my mons if I want any chance to get back from this game. I go for the Black Hole Eclipse here, knock out the Greninja. Like it's like I kind of feel this spot if like I'm down 7-52 in football and I'm scoring 2 meaningless touchdowns in the last 2 minutes of the game. But like I still have a chance to see like if this is a slow Mew, I can Dark Pulse it down to less than half and maybe get a kill with either Ice Shard or the attack from Metagross. But if he outspeeds me, this basically wins. If it's Scarf variant with like Focus Blast or Aura 3A wins. I go for Dark Pulse. He reaches to outspeed me. He actually had one or two speed points more than I did. I really like struggled to find the right speed to with Hydra. I was close to going a little bit higher because I didn't really need all of my HP or my special attack. Sadly I didn't, but yeah, now Metagross comes in. I have to Meteor Mash here. Aura Sphere sadly is a 2 KO even after after leftovers, and he can knock me out, and now this Mew will clean up the game. So this is gonna be ITL Season 6. Sadly I couldn't pull it off versus the king himself. Kinda rough because I figured my team had a very solid chance to win this specific matchup. Had I made the play going for EQ on the Nidoqueen switch, I'm fairly sure that I at least had a very solid chance to win the game. I'm not saying like I won guaranteed because that's nonsense. He didn't even reveal his Stellar Stealer set at this point, which actually had the Flamethrower, but it definitely would have kind of changed how the game would have been played, but I just couldn't pull the trigger, and that's totally on me. So good game to my boy Gypsy. He really deserves this. He basically went 13-0 in the regular season, besides 3 games where he was just hexed to death, where he couldn't do anything about it. Another like really dominant performance from him, basically beating me with 5 mons, which is rough, which really like really hurts. But I'm not sad. I'm just a little bit mad that I didn't make the necessary plays that I had to make. Sadly, really sad, but it is what it is. I can be proud of my season. There's no shame in going 11-2, and then like losing to Gypsy in finals in a matchup where I felt we both prepped phenomenally. But yeah, it is what it is. I wanted to be the first guy in 2017 to prevent him from winning a chip, but you know, I always say I'm the GOAT. People say I'm the GOAT. I'm the GOAT in Gen 6. I like will stand by that. But in Gen 7, there's one undisputed GOAT, and this is Gypsy King. He's like close to unbeatable when he's on his game. It's like his prep and play was phenomenal. So I don't know when he will upload his ITL matches. He's still like in week 3 or so, but definitely go check those out. And GG to my Gypsy, it was a pleasure. Sadly, I couldn't pull it off, but I'm more than happy to have played you in finals finally, and maybe we will face in finals again next season. Shouts to GOAT, and catch you in the next video. See ya.